I recently heard from a commercial real estate professional who was distraught because he recommended a property that would cost the investor $40,000 to get the property ADA compliant before he could rent it. The commercial practitioner was concerned about the legal ramifications. I'm Cindy Chandler, a certified accessibility inspector, plans examiner, and a member of the National Association of Accessibility Consultants. I consult with commercial agents, property managers, and attorneys to address their property's accessibility opportunities and issues. Let's take 5 minutes to talk about some ways commercial practitioners can work with customers on accessibility issues related to the Americans with Disabilities Act, also known as the ADA. The ADA requires businesses to modify policies and procedures when necessary to customers with disabilities. We've seen a proliferation of lawsuits filed against businesses for ADA violations. In many cases, businesses will get a pre-suit demand letter and settle quickly because the business owner didn't know he had other options. In our earlier example, the commercial agent could have suggested an ADA accessibility survey be done as part of the due diligence in purchasing the property. This would have allowed the buyer to use lack of accessibility during the negotiation phase of the transaction. If the purchase went through, then the owner would have an implementation plan in place to remedy some compliance issues quickly and know what to plan for over time. The owner would also be able to give the potential tenant a timeline for coming into compliance. As a commercial agent, you should be aware of the new Florida Statute 553.5141, known as the Accessibility of Places of Public Accommodation Act, APPA. This creates a registry and limits frivolous lawsuits. Rather than settle quickly, a property owner can refer to the implementation plan. The Department of Justice has set specific priorities for barrier removal. Those priorities are parking and entrance. Can you park and get to the door? Second is access to goods and services. Is it easy to check out, get to the counter, get food? Third is having an accessible restroom. Fourth is everything else: water fountains, ATM machines, telephones. The rule of thumb is that if you can see an issue by car, it needs to be fixed. If someone can view an issue from Google Earth, such as the pool at a hotel or motel doesn't have a pool lift, it should be fixed. Even if it's not one of the DOJ priorities, it should be fixed because someone may report you for non-compliance. If you or one of your customers receives a letter, are you on the registry? The ADA is a federal law and you have to go to federal court. The Department of Justice does not give any timeline and does not specify how much money must be spent to get a business ADA compliant. So the implementation plan is truly a living, working document. The document should outline priorities, offer a schedule of when accommodations will be done, and the working budget. Here are some other things you can do to help buyers and sellers. Encourage them to use signs. For example, on the front entrance door, put up a sign that points users in the direction of the ramped entrance. Some signs, such as for a restroom, cannot be ongoing. At some point, you do have to renovate to have a compliant restroom. Next, attend the Florida Realtors class called the ADA and Commercial Real Estate. The course offers information on surveys and implementation plans. Finally, have the property evaluated by an ADA consultant, preferably someone who has the International Code Council designation. They can assess the level of risk and needs of a property for your potential buyers so that they can use that information when negotiating. You bring added value to your client by being aware of these issues. Accessibility pays dividends and makes good business sense. It's clearly in the interest of businesses to make their facilities and services accessible to customers with disabilities. The U.S. Department of Labor states that people with disabilities have $175 billion annually in discretionary spending power. Consumers win and business owners win. Think accessibility before, during, and after the commercial real estate transaction.